Everybody, welcome back. And today we're going to talk a little bit about axes, tomahawks, and things like that. Things to kind of pay attention to. So, your axe head, we all pretty much know what the head of an axe is. But just below that to the left, going toward the blade, is going to be your heel. And that makes a difference because how that axe is designed really starts there. Anybody who's been to a hardware store, and you see that raised ridge up there where they, just right in between the head and the edge, the cutting edge, that's going to be for splitting wood. So that chisel area, that cheek area, makes a big difference for what you want to design for. And your edge makes a difference. So, if you got a really thick edge, it's going to be better for, blunt force and things like that and splitting. If you get a really, really thin edge, it's actually meant more for combat. And to back that up, you can actually go back and reference historical, like medieval axes and stuff. What we normally would see in England and things like that, they were thin bladed. They were really meant to just cut and slice. They weren't really meant to hack off limbs or things like that. When you got into the broad axes, that's really where you started to see the beheadings and the lumbering and things like that. So that does make a difference. Your edge, your cheek, makes a huge difference. Now the head is really good because you want a head that is actually set in there, that is made correctly, so when the handle goes up there, the center line actually lines up with everything. You also want one with a palmer on the back for bushcrafting because you're going to be using, you may end up using nails or pounding stakes in. It just comes in really handy. The Chogan tomahawk is something that I would definitely recommend as a camp axe. Just something that is very handy to have around, especially if you make a fixed handle versus just a tomahawk. But we'll also talk about that too, because one of the great things about a tomahawk is that you can slide the handle out, and the whole edge there becomes a draw knife, becomes a chisel, much easier to work with than what it would be to actually use a hand axe. Let's see here. Handle length really depends on what your purpose is going to be doing with this. If you're carving and stuff, then a hand axe is fine. For most people, though, they will carry some type of hatchet or hatchet size, 13 inch to 19 inch. For the guys that are going to be out there for a while, it's really going to depend on that fire to really try to keep them warm and keep it going all day. These guys will usually carry even a full-size axe or a boy's axe, which is going to be fixed on their outside of their pack, not inside their pack. The knob, which is at the very end of your handle, the piece that would be facing towards the ground, you want that to be up at a very good angle so that your hands don't just slip off. And having a good lanyard there can definitely increase that, the safety of that. And we'll get into a safety video and do some comparisons between a tomahawk and a little camp axe I got. You guys will be able to see the two differences. But we'll do that next week. So if you found this information helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to it, ring that notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. And stay safe, stay armed, stay free, and I shall see you next week. GoPro, stop recording.